Japan, a country known for its rich history, unique culture and technological advancements. But how did this island nation become what it is today? Well, that's what we'll explore in this video. We will be taking a look at the entire history of Japan from its ancient origins to the present day. So let's dive in. The earliest evidence of human habitation in Japan dates back to the Jomon period, which lasted from around 14,000 to 300 BC. During this time, small groups of hunter-gatherers lived on the islands, and they created pottery with distinctive chord patterns. Around 1000 BCE, the Jomon people were replaced by the Yayoi people, who were believed to have migrated from the Korean peninsula. They brought with them new technologies such as the wet rice cultivation and the use of iron tools. This marked the beginning of the Yayoi period, which lasted until around 300 CE during the Kofan period, which lasted from around 300 to 538 CE. Several small states emerged on the islands of Japan. The most powerful of these states was the Ome Kingdom, which was located in what is now southern Kyoto. During this time, the Japanese writing system was developed and Buddhism was introduced from Korea. The Kofan period came to an end with the death of Emperor Ojin in 710. The Nara period, which lasted from 710 to 794, saw the establishment of a permanent capital at Nara in 710. During this time, the first law code, the Taiho Code, was established and the country's first universities were founded. However, the capital was moved to Heian in 794, and this marked the beginning of the Heian period, which lasted until 1185. This was a time of great cultural flourishing with the development of a distinct Japanese style of painting, poetry and literature. The Tale of Genji, a classic work of Japanese literature, was written during this period. In 1160, Minamoto no Yoritomo became the first shogun, establishing a military government that eventually took control of the country away from the emperors. This marked the beginning of the Kamakura shogunate, which lasted until 1333. During this time, Zen Buddhism was introduced from China and the samurai class emerged as the dominant social class. The Kamakura shogunate ended in 1333 with the establishment of the Ashikaga shogunate. The period between 1336 and 1573 is known as the Muromachi period. During this time, the country was divided into several feudal domains ruled by daimyo, or feudal lords. The Ashikaga shogunate was weakened by internal power struggles and civil wars, which allowed the daimyo to become more independent. One of these daimyo, Oda Nobunaga, laid the foundation for a unified Japan by conquering much of the country. His successors Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Tokugawa Ieyasu completed the unification of Japan and established the Tokugawa shogunate, which lasted from 1603 to 1868. During the Edo period, Japan became a closed country, limiting all trade and cultural exchange with the outside world. This policy was designed to protect Japan from Western imperialism and to preserve its traditional culture. However, this policy of isolationism also led to a decline in Japan's international trade and economic growth. In 1853, American Commodore Matthew Perry arrived in Japan demanding that the Japanese open their country to trade. Faced with the threat of force, the Japanese were forced to sign an agreement that opened up several ports to foreign traders. This event, known as the Black Ships Incident, had a profound impact on Japan and led to a series of reforms known as the Meiji Restoration. The Meiji Restoration was a period of rapid modernization and industrialization in Japan, which transformed it from a feudal society into a modern nation. During this time, the shogunate was abolished and the emperor was restored to power. The new government implemented sweeping reforms to catch up with Western powers, including the introduction of a new constitution, the establishment of a modern legal system, and the creation of a conscript army and navy. The Meiji government also invested heavily in education, and the country's first universities were founded during this period. By the end of the 19th century, Japan had become a major power in East Asia, and it began to expand its empire through a series of wars and annexes. In 1894, Japan went to war with China over control of Korea and Taiwan. The war ended with the Treaty of Shimonoseki, which ceded Taiwan and the Pescadores Islands to Japan and recognized Korea as a protectorate of Japan. In 1904, Japan went to war with Russia over control of Korea and the southern half of Sakhalin Island. The war, known as the Russo-Japanese War, resulted in a decisive victory for Japan and established it as a major player in world politics. The victory in the Russo-Japanese War led to increased tensions with the Western powers, particularly the United States. In 1908, the United States and Japan signed the Rutakahira Agreement, which was designed to ease tensions and promote cooperation between the two countries. The agreement established a number of principles, including the open door policy, respect for territorial integrity and non-aggression. However, the agreement did not prevent the growing rivalry between the two countries. The rise of Japanese imperialism in the early 20th century led to a series of conflicts with China and the Western powers. In 1914, Japan joined the First World War on the side of the Allied powers and occupied German-controlled territories in the Pacific. After the war, Japan emerged as a major colonial power in Asia and the Pacific with vast territories in Korea, Taiwan, the the Pacific Islands and mainland China. In the 1930s, Japan's economy and military grew increasingly aggressive, leading to the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937. The war between Japan and China would last until 1945 and result in millions of casualties. The conflict would eventually lead to Japan's entry into the Second World War on the side of the Axis powers. Japan's military actions during the Second World War were characterized by extreme brutality and aggression. The attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941 brought the United States into the war against Japan. The United States would eventually drop two atomic bombs on Japan in 1945, which resulted in the surrender of Japan and the end of the Second World War. After its defeat in the Second World War, Japan was occupied by the United States and its allies. The occupation would last until 1952, and during this time the Japanese were forced to demilitarize and democratize their country. A new constitution was drafted and the country was divided into 4 zones of occupation, each controlled by one of the 4 occupying powers. In the aftermath of the Second World War, Japan experienced a remarkable economic recovery. The country's gross domestic product, GDP, increased from around $36 billion in 1945 to over $1 trillion in 1960. This economic growth was fueled by a number of factors, including the Marshall Plan, which provided billions of dollars in aid to post-war Japan, the rapid industrialization of the country, and the growing consumer market. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, Japan's economy experienced a period of rapid growth and expansion, which led to the emergence of Japan as an economic superpower. During this time, Japanese companies became known for their high-quality products and innovative technologies. The country's exports, which included automobiles, electronics, and steel products, became highly competitive in international markets. However, in the 1990s, Japan's economy entered a period of stagnation known as the Japanese asset price bubble burst. The bursting of the bubble led to a sharp decline in the value of Japanese assets, including stocks and real estate. This decline, along with a series of financial scandals, shook confidence in the Japanese economy and led to a period of slow growth and deflation. Despite the economic challenges, Japan has remained a major player in international politics. In recent decades, the country has taken an active role in promoting democracy and human rights around the world. Japan has also been a major contributor to the United Nations and other international organizations. Today, Japan is a highly advanced technological nation with a strong economy and a high standard of living. It is home to some of the world's most innovative companies and has made significant contributions to fields such as technology, engineering, and medicine. Despite its economic challenges in recent years, Japan remains one of the world's top 3 economies and a major player in global affairs. The country's rich history, unique culture, and technological advancements make it a fascinating and influential nation on the world stage. And that's a wrap on the entire history of Japan from its ancient origins to the present day. We hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos about world history. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.